is going on, guys? It is Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle TV. Today, we have all of the rest of the news. If you didn't watch our breakdown or our interpretation of the Economist cover, we just did that right before this. It just came out. I don't believe too many people have covered it, but I guarantee you this year with the creepy stuff on that cover, people are going to be covering it. We're going to talk right now about this interactive map reveals an extremely disturbing pattern in drone sightings across the U.S. Again, we'll actually hit this in just a second, so you don't want to miss it. We'll be right back right after this. Nothing in the show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect my opinion, Dex's opinion, or anyone else who works with the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. If you have not already, it helps us out if you end up going through any of our affiliates, and it helps you out if you end up protecting yourself against cybercrime. NordVPN is one of the best and one of the easiest to use. If you do not have a virtual private network, it protects your IP address, which is your online identity, which actually connects to your real address and everything else. It also connects to you. If you know anything about how they are data logging and basically getting your profiles down, you can prevent that by having a VPN. Nord is, again, one of the easiest. Download it. It's like an on switch and off switch. All you have to do. Go to marfooglenews.com/VPN. Not only will you get a giant discount on this, but you will also be helping us. I appreciate your support, and I appreciate everyone that goes through any of our affiliates. Can't say thank you enough. No, it's in another billion to another person in another country. We this money we just really don't know. It's in another billion to another person in another country. We don't know. Where do they spend this money? We just really don't know. All right, what is going on, guys? It is Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle TV. So to get into it, we have a lot to go over in a short amount of time. Remember, you have a full bibliography over on marfooglenews.com. In fact, all you have to do is look for today's thumbnail. Troops deployed to New York, and of course, it will have a full source list. That way, at your fingertips, you can fact check us. You can go through and see what we got it from. All right. So first off, let's go back to the map. The interactive map has revealed a disturbing pattern in drone sightings across the U.S. An unexplained drone invasion has targeted America's military bases worldwide since October, beginning with the swarm over Langley Air Force Base in Virginia. Now, before we go any further, I just want to point out this is what the MSM is saying. A lot of folks believe that we are being set up for a massive, fantastic Freddy. Of massive proportions. So again, keep that in mind when you're thinking about this article. The pattern became evident when similar activity was reported over New Jersey's Picatinny Arsenal on November 18th. Less than 1 week later, U.S. bases in England and Germany began grappling with incursions by small unmanned aerial systems. So that's why this is a... Well, and by the way, if this was completely true, that would explain... that, or it would give us a reasonable explanation of why they're, being quiet about it, secretive. It will stir some anxiety. I believe this will get people kind of fire under their feet, which I don't think is a bad thing as far as, saying, hey, maybe something's going on here. Either way, even if this is a total op, then I would highly recommend you get prepared because, remember, their ops can be huge. 2019 showed us that. But again, back in America, sightings were gaining traction. Multiple instances of drones appeared over New Jersey's Navy weapon system, and Ohio's Wrights-Patterson Air Force Base closed its airspace due to similar activity on December 13th. Now, I want to point out, we actually just had recent reports here in Washington by Tacoma by JBLM. That is right? JBLM, the base up by Tacoma. So, and in Georgia, I know Dex has said that he had, in his area, people from all over the country have commented and said, yeah, we saw them too. But we're all assuming most of these are not, drones, but planes that people are misidentifying. But what if there really is something there? I'm never closing the door to that. Obviously, with the Iranian mothership, that is a real technology. They're not talking about a carrier off of the coast
In that instance, I believe he was trying to reference, or if it was an op, he was trying to get people to think about a plane mothership, like what China has. China could have given their technology to Iran. People go, well, how would the U.S. not know, where these things are and spot them immediately and catch them on radar? Well, that's the thing. A lot of China's claims recently said that they have a special invisibility cloak they've been putting on their craft that can get past both of our major radars. And if it's about car size, it could carry some serious stuff, but it could also possibly get by those radars. I don't know. So I'm leaving that door open. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Before we move any further, let's bring in my co-internet brother, Dex James. What is going on, and how are you doing today?
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam. I am doing just fine.
So, as far as the locations, I mean, it really seems like there's a general pattern, or at least that's what they're telling us. So,
certainly,
is this
it looks
setup?
like military base after military base. I mean, just 2 days ago, it's Texas, right? So, what's happening right now? What's happening this weekend? Who's next? Are we going to see more of? I'm sure we're going to hear lots of people saying they're seeing stuff, but what's important is the confirmations of drone activity over military bases, which is what we've heard from our military. So that is the most significant part of this, because whether that is a civilian doing it, or an adversary that's looking like a civilian, or an adversary doing it completely covertly from offshore or something like that, all of those actions are dangerous and dangerous to our national security.
Or of course, or there's the option that this is the U.S. and they're setting us up with the Tonkin type of thing, where we're going to get some crash in the middle of the city, and it's going to be a drone, and it's going to have Iranian writing on it or something, and they're going to go, oh, we've got to go to war. They're looking at all of our stuff. They were plotting an attack. They were mapping our places. I would not be surprised if there was a DOD press conference where they come out and say, they were mapping our bases, and now we have to strike. We have to strike first, otherwise they could get us right in our homeland. They're already here. That would be the next level of fear too, if it's along the lines of an op, which most people believe at this point. But is it double, kind of quadruple frickin' 4D chess where it really is real and they're trying to make us think that it's not real? You never know. There's so much ganda that we just get spun up. So, with that being said, what do you guys think it is? Again, I would love to hear your opinions in the chat. Whatever Prepper, thank you for being a member for 8 months. That is awesome. Just hit 8 months today. Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas to everybody. And I hope that this last week right before Christmas, I hope that all of you are in a warm place under a nice roof. And for those that aren't, I'm praying for you. I know that we have some Foogle family members that are either in their car, in their van, RV, under a bridge, wherever it may be that you are. I have love for you, and I'm praying for you to get out of that situation. I've been there myself. It's not fun. Creaky, thank you for being a member. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Cyril, thank you for subscribing. And Wolverine Snicket, thank you for resubscribing. A lot of people have had to resubscribe lately. I don't know what's been up with that. A lot of people have said that they have had me completely removed off of their subscription list. So make sure to check that. Hit that subscription bell. Even if you've been here for 6 years and I pop up in your home, make sure to hit that subscription bell. It says that 75% of you are not subscribed. All right, and then, oh, shoot. Let's hear. Blank Man, what's going on? We've got MLB, Spectre, Angie. Nice to see you. We've got Poro Loco Me. We've got James McGowan. What is happening? Been a member for what was that? I could not see the rest of it. R. McGrath, 11 have perished in German market. We'll get to that. Terry Quinn, thank you. TL Orca, and so many more. Thank you, Danaman's Gump Ride. Appreciate all of you. Merry Christmas. So many, the Christmas vibes are there. The last couple years, I don't know why, the Christmas vibes have not been there. So we have gone overboard trying to decorate, put the tree out, have Christmas movies and Christmas music playing all the last 2 weeks, because you may not care about it as an adult, but when you have kids, that was like, I don't know, it had very positive memories in my wife and I's head, like, knowing, having the music on and having the movies on and actually getting into the Christmas spirit. So I'm happy this week. I'm super excited to give my kids their gifts. Like, that's the best part of it. What do you guys think about it? Let me know. 6 embassies damaged in barbaric Russian attack on Kiev. Dex, do you want to go over this? And pretty, they labeled it barbaric.
Yeah, certainly. So, look, yesterday, Ukraine launched 6 U.S.-made long-range ATACMS and 4 British Storm Shadows into Russian territory. Get this, many of them were actually intercepted over Rostov region, so they're not even that effective against Russia. But Russia said in the aftermath, though, that it would have a swift and appropriate retaliation. Well, that came this morning. As it made good on its threats. Significantly, the major Russian missile barrages have targeted the capital of Kiev. At least one person was perished, but they said they've damaged a number of foreign embassies. Dozens of other people were injured. So if you remember, this is one of the things they said might happen, is they would expand their targeting to some of the, government buildings, and an embassy being one of those. So the Kiev military administration said that Albania, Argentina, North Macedonia, Palestinian, Portuguese, and Montenegrin embassies were all damaged in the attacks, and it appears they were all housed in one of the buildings that was hit pretty hard. So maybe they got many for one shot, but still, this was a massive attack on them. We've seen a massive attack on the power grid. As we said, this is the time gap between now and end of January, when the dawn comes in, that Russia is going to take advantage, as much advantage as it possibly can, of this time period to, press hard. And we're seeing that.
And just keeping you guys awake here, that was not a mistake, a human error at all, just to let you know. Sorry about that. My big fat fingers accidentally hit that. And I apologize, Dex. So yeah, out of those, just to read that list again: Albanian, Argentinian, North Macedonian, Palestinian, Portuguese, and Montenegrin embassies were damaged in the attack. Now, I don't know if any of, I'm surprised that they're all in the same place, but I did want to point out, it lists Portuguese there. After we did that show on the Economist cover, I don't know if Portugal will ever come into this, but Dex caught something really, really interesting. Dex, I wanted to pull up that picture. One thing that we did want to add to that last thing about the Economist cover. Can we add that now, since they affected the Portuguese embassy? So I don't know if something will end up happening with Portugal, but I just thought that was interesting, and we should add it before it gets too late. And
are you talking about the reference to the Juan versus the El Yungue, which is in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, could you get me the links to the stuff that we just found on that?
Yeah, hang on.
Dex caught this, and I didn't. It was the Juan symbol in the Economist cover is actually not exactly a Juan symbol. I mean, it is a Juan symbol, but it's just a little bit off. And that little bit off actually makes it almost a different symbol. And that different symbol relates to Portugal. So I don't know if that's it, but I did think it was interesting that either the designer of the page or the Economist cover, or the multiple designers, maybe they picked the wrong symbol, or maybe they did it themselves and just weren't that accurate. But it was pretty interesting. So we'll show you that here in a second. But just thought that was very interesting. And who knows what's going to come in 2025. 2025 is also the year Deagle report is supposed to come true. So hopefully it doesn't. Dex, go ahead.
I was going to say, I got 2 links for you in up next whenever you want them.
Okay, so check this out. Let's see here. And then, there we go. Oh, and I might need the actual thing to show them what was on the Economist. I think I can just Google it, but I might not get the high-res one. So hold on.
It's in there.
Okay, thank you. So check this out. Okay, so this is the image of the Economist cover. And we pointed out that it has two money symbols. This just came out today. You probably haven't seen many people covering this at all, if anybody. I'm sure there's somebody out there probably caught it at the same time since it just came out. But these always have very predictive programming. Also, for those of you that did not join us for that, just to sum up, very creepy here. The solar flare there, that is totally an image of a solar flare and then a dark city next to it. Very, very creepy. Just want to point that out. And then the Saturn thing, still haven't figured that out. But down here is the wand, right? That looks like 3 wand symbols. But if you actually look carefully, the V part of this does not touch the horizontal line. Now, some would go, oh, well, who cares? It's not wrote. So if this is an actual symbol, it does matter, especially when you're talking about currency exchange, things like that. This is, I don't think it would be hard for him to grab that and accidentally do an opposite symbol unless it was a different font or some font did this wrong. I don't know. But if you look at what this is, look. So this is actually closer to what that is. So the wand symbol, this is the wand symbol where the V comes down and it directly connects to the line. This looks a lot more closer to what is in the actual picture. If you look at that it looks like what it is. So, and there's not too much reference to this. So what is this group? The what is it called again? El Mungo, or do you remember what the name of it was?
Yeah, it is the El Yungue, and it's Bandera del El Yungue, and that is a national forest in Puerto Rico. It's the only rainforest in the United States national forest system. This is a symbol that represents that of some sort, and that's about as far as we made it, because there's not a lot about this. But why was that symbol so intentionally made different from a Chinese yen? And it looks more like
Yuan.
This symbol, or yuan, sorry, not yen, yuan, which looks so much more like this symbol, which typically this has clearly the V above a vertical line, at the top of a vertical line as opposed to on the top of the horizontal line.
Yeah, it's basically a plus symbol with a V on top, whereas the yuan is more of a T with a V. It's V and T. So instead of a plus symbol, which goes up. So yeah, just a curious kind of thing there. Wanted to point out. So if anything happens in Portugal or in the Portugal rainforest, then we have now put that out there. So
Puerto Rico.
And we'll know, or Puerto Rico. That's right. Oh, so totally confused. All right. So, and then Hochul deploys hundreds of National Guard members to New York City subway system. This is absolutely just wild. Okay, so first of all, there's been a lot of weird stories coming out of New York. I know that you guys from New York have said a lot of odd things. You've seen convoys going through suburban areas of further off in New York, not in New York, but around it. So I just wonder what the hell is going on in New York. Do they have signs that something is going on? Now, we just covered some stories about New York. Wasn't it they had 2 spikes of activity in New York? Is that right?
That's correct. We reported, or that it was reported in the media, that there was higher levels of radiation at the radiation counter map in New York about the same time that everybody's looking for these drones. And these drones were allegedly, some people were speculating, were looking for potential radiation. So that timing was very concerning for many.
And this is under the JB administration that's doing this. So, like, this isn't, if this was a couple months later, you might almost wonder if this is part of an operation. He's even mentioned that he might use the military to help get people out. But so what the hell is this? That's why people are a little bit shaky about it. And it says, it's as clear to me, I've heard from many people that the presence of the National Guard has made not just a physical difference, but a psychological difference in how they feel about safety, Hochul said. When people see a person in uniform, even our National Guard, they feel more secure. Now, if you remember, just a few months ago, we actually covered that they were down in the subway systems before as well. So they've been watching for something. And it says, when I saw a spike in crime, I knew that we needed to quickly stabilize and ensure that we didn't start ending up in the wrong direction once again, Hochul said. A lot of people didn't think it would make a difference, and I'm incredibly proud of these individuals in uniform here with me today. So they're pretty much saying that this is for crime, right? National Guard for crime and for issues. For people who are thinking about bringing a weapon or knife on the subway, at least this creates a deterrent effect. Hochul said at the time, they might be thinking, you know what, it just may not be worth it because I listened to the mayor and I listened to the governor, and they have a lot more people who are going to be checking my bags. So what's odd about this is that they're now talking about this, but this has actually been going on. Maybe that before, when that started happening, maybe that was a test run and they said, hey, this worked out really well. We had less crime, so they did it more. Or is there something that they are actually preparing for? Just remember this, too. I want to point this out. They did one of their first nuclear PSAs, but they also did a test. Let me go to DuckDuck. Okay, so let's go to DuckDuckGo. Go New York does subway aerosol test. Yeah, this is really spooky. Airborne terrorism threat test. This was in 2021. Includes releasing non-toxic gas into the subway system. If you remember, they actually released actual stuff into the subway system, and they had detectors at all of these points throughout the subway, and they were seeing how a bioagent would go through the subway system. So if somebody released something down there, how fast it would get through the city. That's a really creepy thought, too. If you think about how the subway goes almost everywhere and has exits to the rest of the city, if you released something in a gas form, you would quickly have the entire city wiped out. Or turning into zombies if you're somebody of that nature. Again, which, by the way, they have shown that they may have the technology to actually turn people into breathing zombies, or at least angry, aggressive, non-thinking individuals. It's called TikTok. They've proven it. So, again, we'll see what ends up happening with it, and very, very creepy stuff. And what do you guys think about National Guard? Are they preparing for something? Is there a Fantastic Freddy heading? There's a lot of stuff around New York. Specifically, New York has been on the radar for a while. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Speaking of which, if there is an event, speaking of events, they have been talking about non-nuclear EMPs, which anybody that came across the border could get parts off the internet and make a non-nuclear EMP. Not a lot of people talk about it, but they're a device that is smaller, could fit in a backpack, and that could knock out a 5-mile radius. So again, it could knock out a whole city. It could put the city in the dark, like the Economist cover shows you. But also, if an EMP hits a big enough one, if an adversary hits us with a nationwide EMP, something that goes over Kansas and hits us right above there, then yeah, our whole grid could go down. That's why I recommend that you guys protect yourself with an EMP shield. It's very easy to put in your car. That way you are going to be safe throughout it. If everybody had these, I think the whole country would be in a way better place. If these were required from manufacturer to put in cars or to put in your house, then I don't think we would even have an issue right now. But we do have an issue, and we have a vulnerable grid. If our grid goes down, 90% of us would perish in the first year. They say that's not because we're taking each other out and we're robbing and jabbing each other. It would be because of the infrastructure, the water, the gas, everything would go down. Our whole system would collapse. So go to marfooglenews.com/EMP. You can protect yourself. If you work far from home, this is a good way to make sure that you do. Again, get home and If you want to bug out, then you bug out. Go to marfooglenews.com/EMP. Make sure to use the code MARF. You'll get $50 off. That's grandfathered in on top of any sale. It also protects against a Carrington-level event, also pictured on that very creepy Economist cover. If there is a solar event, a Carrington level, this will protect you against that as well. It will ground the signal in less than 500 trillionths of a second before it's able to fry your device. It's, again, something that you won't need until you need, and once you need it, you're going to really thank yourself. All right. And let's go into U.S. scraps $10 million bounty on Syrian rebel leader's head. This is such BS. Like, seriously, when I saw that it was suggested, I knew it was going to happen. I said that on last week's show. I think, Dex, you said the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
We knew that they were going to scrap this thing. It's so dumb. This guy is from Al-Qaeda, al-Nusra. This guy is a straight-up terrorist. And they just scrapped his $10 million bounty because now he's a revolutionary. He's grown. You know, he no longer straps vests on and goes into schools and poof, all these people are gone. Now he's a revolutionary. He's grown up. You know, he's not in his 20s anymore. The guy's in his 30s. Like, you totally, like, the terrorism thing was a phase, you know? I totally believe it. This guy is very sweet and kind-hearted. Like, when he is, microwaving animals and stuff, he puts defrost on first, which is, I guess it's less painful. So, totally nice guy. But yeah, they just scrapped his $10 million bounty. This is such an operation. Dex, we knew this was going to happen. This is so stupid.
Yeah, we did. And I'm going to tease this, Adam. I just found something else on the Economist cover, and we will talk about it later at the end. Later on in the show, so you guys wait. I found something really cool. But look, yeah, he's scrapping, the U.S. is scrapping the $10 million bounty. So, you know, he is the head of HTS. He is the former, reformed T guy out of two different organizations that have a horrific history against lots of different people. But now he is the liberator of Syria. So we're going to look the other way. Now, look, we told you they were looking the other way at the beginning because he had made like so many public appearances. Like he had been seen all over the country for the last year or so. If they wanted to take him out, they could have taken him out with a drone at any time. They could have taken him out. Anybody could have taken him out and collected the bounty, so to speak. So it was real easy. He was not in hiding. He was out in the open. Which then, what that really meant was the fact that the U.S. did nothing about it over the last year meant that they were encouraging him or making sure that he was fine, even though they had this label on him. So, but it sounds to me like they're pulling that label off. We knew it was going to happen because it all looks like a big orchestrated event, and that's the story.
Is there a term for, like, usually there's a patsy. Patsy is a negative thing. You don't want to be a patsy. But is there a positive patsy? Is there a posy patsy? What would you call that? Like, they randomly pick this guy, and instead of, like, taking the rap for something, he's taking the rap for something good, right? And now he's the de facto Syrian leader, when just a couple weeks ago he was a wanted terrorist. We don't negotiate with those types, though. We send them thousands and thousands of drones worth millions and millions of dollars through a proxy called Ukraine. And I'm sure the drones were the tiniest bit of what's going to come out. This was such a freaking op. I cannot believe that anyone didn't see this. The first day I saw this, nobody talked about it. I know that other people in our community did, but man, there were so many people that just totally missed this. They thought it was legit. I guess they're still saying it's totally legit. Like, they're not, but in my mind, it is cement. Like, this is just absolutely so obvious. How do they think that people don't see it? They just wait a couple days and then report the other part to the story, and then people are like, oh, I don't put two and two together. Like, the same time we sent $375 million out, all of a sudden, around that same period, right afterwards, that's a transfer of U.S. money out to Ukraine. Then Ukraine sends drones to HTS. Like, And then Israel and U.S. in the same time period are saying, oh, there's bad guys, there's terrorists in this country. Wait, isn't that the guy who just took over? He's one too. So you're supporting one terrorist to take out other terrorists. How well has that worked out with the cartels and with the other groups? There was a guy, I think his name was Osam, Uncle Sama bin Laden, Uncle Sama bin Laden. Yeah, he was a really great investment, wasn't he? Right? He was a positive patsy, and then he was a neggy patsy. He was a posy patsy and then a neggy patsy. I just coined those terms. Trademark. Registered. This guy put the turd in registered, okay? I don't know, man. I think people are a little slow nowadays. And then U.S. kills ISIS leader Abu Yusuf in precision strike in Syria. Of course, because the ISIS, that's bad. But the old Al-Qaeda guys, they've grown. They've matured. All right? They took a class or two. They went to a victims panel. Now they are revolutionaries. But the leader Abu Yusuf was eliminated in a precision strike by the U.S. Central Command Forces on Thursday. Another unnamed ISIS operative was also eliminated in the strike. Wouldn't that suck if you're, you dreamed when you were a little kid, you're like, I want to be a terrorist when I grow up. And then you end up perishing and you're not even named, like unnamed terrorists. That sucks. Sorry about that, Shamudu.
It must be that new program for the other guy, the new TEI that they're doing.
TEI. Yep. They're being inclusive all the way around. Man, that's bad. And then thank you, Inquiring Minds. Thank you, LAPD SWAT. Carlton Sutton, thank you. Says, have a good and safe weekend all. Have a little talk with Jesus, okay? He loves us. John 3:16. Hey, Carlton, thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you for your support, Kenny Crowder, this week. Bandy Bear, Elisa Borden, Ewok Jerky, Jane from Tennessee, Stephen McMahon, again, thank you. Sweating Ministries, I hope you are doing well. Black Clover Digital, Neil Nelson, Scott Dixon, Craig Alicious, thank you. And Lisa Douglas, hope you are having a sweet Christmas week. And, of course, we have Colby Wilson. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. And hopefully all of you are doing well. And then, Dex, do you want to go over the final package? They say final, right?
Right.
Of this week.
Yeah, the final package of today. But the apparently the administration, the JB administration, will be announcing in the coming days its final Ukraine security assistance package, using up the remaining funds set aside to buy new weapons for Ukraine, according to two sources familiar with the matter. The package includes air defense interceptors, artillery munitions, according to a third source, but the exact contents are expected when the package is announced in the coming days. The package will be worth about $1.2 billion. Like, we can't get them enough. I think we just talked about, what was it, $40 billion loan, or $20 billion from the U.S. or something, and $40 billion total from the G7, and we just announced an almost $1 billion like 2 weeks ago from the U.S. And they even tried to put one in that continuing resolution. They were trying to send some more money in. So, look, $1.2 billion. Now they're saying this is going to be the last straw. I doubt it. They'll probably find some scraps here and there as they try to get what they can get done in the next few days. But apparently, be on the lookout. They're saying $1.2 billion any day now.
I was just looking up a stat. That $175 billion. Hold on a second. How much would it cost to end world hunger? it would cost about $40 billion a year to end world hunger. I'm sorry, what? Dex, did you hear that stat? It would cost about $40 billion with a B to end world hunger.
Well,
World hunger.
my only question is, when was that written, and is it adjusted for inflation? Because my grocery bills are pretty high right now.
Okay, double it, triple it. You have less than what we've given to Ukraine in just about a year and a half. Quadruple it, you still have just about right under. That's insane. Did you guys hear that? Around this Christmas season, just know we could be solving world hunger with a quarter of what we've given to Ukraine so far. A non-NATO member that couldn't get into NATO because of how corrupt they were. Okay, sounds good. There's no hidden resources there. There's no hidden lithium or something else there. Just saying. No sarcasm there. Sorry, I had the Katy Perry glitch there. At least 2 perished, about 60 injured when a car plows into a German Christmas market. So that comment earlier said that there was a giant number perished, or something like 11, right? That's been updated? Can we look at just make sure that this is current? I don't know if they said that it's gone higher, or were they saying in that comment that it injured about 11? Because this is saying at least 2 people perished and 60 others injured.
A quick glance at the mainstream, search of the headlines on it, which are all going to be delayed, only still says 2 at this time. That doesn't mean it's not higher. It was pretty horrific what happened. So it wouldn't surprise me if the number is higher, but we just don't see it here. You may find it on Twitter or in local German news.
Understand that they're calling this right a day after there was a T attack, right? Are these coming back? Are we going to have a resurgence of insurgents? That actually kind of works. A resurgence of insurgents, which many of us, I believe that a lot of these things are funded. Like, there's different groups that are, of course, all of them are funded, but I mean, like, they're partially made. And then the very top of them, these are billionaires and millionaires that run these things, and they're the revolutionaries. Underneath them, these people believe it as like a religion. So they use religion to recruit and to get these people to do these horrendous things. So the people at the bottom, I don't think they know that they're operatives, right? But in my opinion, I think almost all of these, it's like it's all run and paid for, and it's to mold the planet. And it's so disturbing that we mold the planet with death. We mold the planet by taking people off of it. So in this Christmas week, I'm praying for all those people that are in Germany that got hit by this thing. I'm praying for all of you to recover quickly, and that number does not go above 2. I'm praying for especially the wee ones that might have been part of this. In Jesus' name, amen. Dex, go ahead.
Yeah, they're saying the person who did this was a Saudi who had permanent residency there, seeking asylum from Saudi, and that they say he was acting alone. That's about as much as I got off of the latest info. But he is in custody.
Just like in 2001. It's like almost all of the people were living in Saudi Arabia. It's like they point at all of these other countries, but almost all of the like verified like bad things have happened from people that are coming from there. Yeah. What do you guys think of that? And let's see here. Terry Quinn, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for the super sticker. Appreciate that. Thank you. And Another high recommendation from Marfoogle family. Again, make sure to go check out Jace. We've already had a lot of positive comments on this. There have been people that have actually used it just for regular things. I'm not going to tell you how to use it because I can't. But some of the comments by Fugel family member in the last couple weeks, as far as somebody that was out in basically camping, they would have had to basically take their whole family back out of the woods. They were hunting in a cabin, and they had kind of an issue and some sickness. I'll just say that. They ended up being able to use some of their emergency kit, and it ended up saving the trip. So again, they are going to get another one because they said now they've used up part of it. Again, this is an awesome kit you can get from a telehealth appointment with a board-certified doctor, and you'll get all of the most commonly prescribed antibiotics. Again, go check it out. It is called Jace, and it is at marfugglenews.com/Jace. Not only does it have a whole kit of antibiotics, you can also add things like albuterol, like emergency breathers, or other emergency medications that you would need in the drop of the dime if something happens. I know when I was a kid back, I grew out of my asthma, but when I was about 12, I was at a barbecue, and I would have died because I did not have a breather. I literally felt like I was going to die. Somebody gave me Coca-Cola, which apparently that helps, and they had an emergency breather. I am so glad I'm not dependent on albuterol because it's a bad stuff, but I know a lot of you guys are. If they didn't have that breather, I don't think I would be here today. So again, stuff like that, it's very, very awesome to have on hand, and especially in any emergency. It doesn't have to be the end of the world. Go to marfugglenews.com/Jace, and also check out Jace Daily, where you can get a 12-month extended supply. So 12 months of your regular medication and your regular dose delivered to your door. So go check that out. Again, marfugglenews.com/Jace. And the U.S. government could be headed for a shutdown. Here is what it may look like. So, first of all, that other bill did not pass, or the House resolution. It was 1,500 pages. Everybody made a giant deal out of it. It gave a raise to the Congress. It freaking put in mandates. It was this omnibus, just giant piece of crap House resolution. By the next day, all of the criticism worldwide about it, because people were weighing in from every country on X, they changed it. They took it down to money for the farmers, money for the hurricane victims, something that everybody could agree on. Nobody did. They voted no on it. And a huge number of Republicans actually voted down on it too. Yesterday, we covered the list of those Republicans, which many people commented that a lot of them are rhinos. Whatever you want to call it, it was pretty bad. But because that failed and that was voted no on, now it looks like the government may shut down, even if it's for a couple weeks or whenever. Dex, go ahead.
Yeah, so a third one came out today, and at the last minute, and basically the Don and Elon sort of stayed out of it. They didn't seem to get too verbal at all with it. And the changes were that instead of extending the debt limit for 2 years, they would just extend till March a budget that would allow the government to run. So they're not changing the debt ceiling, which was something the Don wanted done, but he'll have to deal with later. So that actually passed, at least passed the House. So the House did vote on that just a little bit ago, and it passed. So it's going to the Senate, and then if it passes there, it'll go to the White House, and if he signs it, then it's done, and the government stays in operation. But that doesn't mean that that's the case, because it could fail the Senate, and we could be back in a mess. But that's what this story's about, is like what will shut down and what won't. And, it's not a complete government shutdown, but it is a significant number of people that are going to potentially not have paychecks starting next week if they get furloughed.
And this would be a disaster that's basically they've just pushed back until in his term, into the Don's term. So this mess is basically just pushed forward up until the next president. So
Yeah. So the big kicker, and if you really want to know the minutia of it, is right now there is no debt ceiling. For the current president, they had I don't remember the guy who did it, but whoever's in charge of the House had allowed them to set a no limit debt ceiling so that he could basically have free reign to do whatever he wanted to do, spend whatever he wanted to spend. It would be no problem. But they also said that it would expire in 2025, so that it would only be for his term. So the Don is like saying, "Hey, I need that too, or I at least need some leeway." Because if the debt ceiling is maxed out day one in 2025, we can't do anything. We can't spend a dollar. We can't give a tax cut. If you give a tax cut, that's considered an expense. So it has to go up against on the debt. So he couldn't cut taxes anywhere. He couldn't do anything. So it's like they gave carte blanche to one administration, but they won't give it to the next.
They're screwing the next president. They're screwing the Donald. That's what it looks like. And over 2 million federal employees may go without a paycheck for who knows how long. It's just stupidity all around. And I don't know. You're probably going to see some big words out of the Don here soon. They're probably writing up their response. They're probably going to put out something. He's probably going to spit acid at this point. And then the 2025 Economist cover. So we briefly touched on this in the beginning of the show, but this thing is darn creepy. Now, Dex, I wonder if we could... I'm almost willing to pull up the comments from that last show. I wonder if there were any good inputs. We have gotten some of the best inputs from the audience. The audience have caught things that we didn't, and you did say you caught something, so let's... we teased it. Let's talk about it.
Grab my link out. It's the top link, and up next, the very top of the page. It is another issue of that symbol we talked about. And you're not going to believe who used that symbol. And for them to put that in, if it is in reference to this organization, that would be very interesting.
Okay, so let me see. All right, this one up the very top?
Yep.
No
very
way.
top.
No way. Okay.
Once that page loads, if you go to the right-hand side where they talk about like the statistics and what country it was, obviously NAZ, look at the very bottom for the insignia, the shape of the insignia.
Oh, no way.
Is that not it?
Yeah, it's yellow, but it's it. It's it exactly.
Well, they wouldn't put yellow in that picture. The picture was all red, white, and black.
So if you're not seeing this, it was a symbol from Nazi Germany from World War II. Oh, gosh, you give me $2.75. It's gone up, well, hasn't it? 16th, and I've donated to Wikipedia, so I don't, that's kind of lame. It's like after you've donated, they still pop up on you. I do think Wikipedia is very important, but man, that is the 16th Panzer Division. Now, this is in reference to the Y symbol here, which you're going, no, that's the one. If you actually look at the one symbol, it is different. It is completely different. I mean, it's very similar, but the V is right on top of a T. There is no space in between. So, again, what do you guys think? The black outlined planet here, that is a very, very clear image of a solar flare coming off of the planet. That's a solar storm happening. And then right next to it, you have a dark city. And the Saturn part, I want to see other people's input on this. Is that even Saturn? Or are people going to say, oh, it's Planet X? Or, like, what is the deal with that? Dex, do you have any ideas yet? Like, have you seen anything? Like, I don't know if we can look. Why the hell is the Saturn there?
I don't know what's up with Saturn. I have to look. Maybe there's a major initiative, space project for Saturn that's coming up in 2025, but I'm not aware of it. I don't, we follow some of the space stuff, but not planetary stuff.
Well,
but I'll look.
Could it be the name Saturn mission First spacecraft to explore Saturn. Wait. Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's anything new. 3 weeks ago, NASA selected SpaceX to provide launch services for the Dragonfly mission. Every time we see... Oh, so are they going to try to explore Saturn with a drone or something? NASA has chosen SpaceX to launch the Dragonfly mission. Let's see here. I've got a tweet here. Oh, okay. So maybe this is pointing out SpaceX and NASA are teaming up to yeet. Is that really? Yeet a nuclear-powered drone the size of a car to Saturn's moon Titan. Isn't that the one that's questionably like a human-esque planet or something? Is Saturn's moon like a possible livable surface or something? I feel like I've heard that. And seeking insights into the chemical precursors of
Selected
life.
SpaceX to launch.
Gosh, I hate that. But yeah, so, okay, that makes sense.
So that's 2028, though, right? That's the date I'm seeing for the Dragonfly spacecraft to launch in 2028. But China has a CNSA, two interstellar express spacecrafts that are expected to launch in 2024 that may include a flyby of Saturn. I don't know if those are still on schedule to launch this year before the year ends.
Huh.
I don't know. Yeah, but I don't have an answer on the Saturn one. That's still a puzzle.
That is very, very weird. Huh. Well, there's so many more creepy things. There's the rocket. There's the V, if you guys get what I mean. The stick in the army right here. You've got the red planet. This shows Russia and Africa on one side being surrounded in red, and then over on this side it's very gloomy, dark, black and white with North America and South America right there. This woman, has anybody, even if you reverse Google search her, I recognize her. Like, I recognize her just like if you see a picture of Johnny Depp or something, go, oh, that's Johnny Depp. I recognize her. I cannot put my finger on who the hell that is. I thought the WEF, I thought NATO, like she looks like somebody who would be a common, somebody in NATO or a prime minister of a country. Is that I almost think Australia's prime minister? She looks like a prime minister. But why is she there? A nuclear symbol inside of the eyeball. Very creepy.
Adam, someone in, let's see, let me give the credit to him. Mario Esquera 5006 in the comments on the video over on news, which you guys should go watch because we go into much more detail on this. The woman is Ursula von der Leyen, president of the EU.
I knew it. So, president of the EU. Is she German? Is that what her name is?
I need to look it up. Don't know.
So I don't know. I just keep hearing things about Germany. Germany's base. Germany's this. Germany's that. Terror. The Christmas terror attack. I mean, the car.
Oh yeah, that's her when I looked her up.
It's weird. It wouldn't even reverse search her. We could not find her.
Yeah, she's a German politician. She's the 13th president of the European Commission.
Wait a second. So here's another thing I caught. Is the only two people outlined in red is Putin and T-Man, but also the Jane Austen woman. And we're guessing that's from Pride and Prejudice. Is that Pride and then Putin is Prejudice? Is there something to do with the whole Pride and Prejudice type of thing? Go ahead.
Or she's perished because of her age. Obviously, she's no longer living, and the red is symbolism of that. Either it's coming or they already are.
Or does
at least in China, red outlines around images usually symbolize that.
And then there's items that have red border around it with black border, but it has red background. The planet and this do, and the down arrow. The ones with the black background, it's almost like there's different themes, like they mean different things. A black background with the arrows up, and then the white background with the arrow up, and then the red background with the arrows down. Yeah, I wonder what the heck, these have been eerily predictive, and if you want to see the rest of this, make sure to go watch the news short. We tried to make it as short and concise as we could, going over something like this. But it's a much shorter, shareable video. Share it with our friends and family. The eyeball, of course, I believe that is a Chinese yuan. It's on one of the bills. It's not black and white. It's actually red, but they just color black and whited it. Eyeball, nose, which is Benjamin Franklin, his nose reversed. And then the mouth, and it looks like JB, our current prez.
And Adam, that Mario Escort 5006 said that they also said that they think that eye, if you look at it, it is Ben Franklin from the dollar bill.
So I looked at Benjamin Franklin. The first thing I did, so let's see here.
Although Benjamin's not on the dollar bill. That would be George Washington.
Oh,
Benjamin's
yeah.
on the $100 bill.
So I looked up a couple of bills. The $20 bill, some of them, it was obviously not. It's almost a very
Right.
Asian eye looking thing. So let's see here. You said the dollar bill?
Well, he the way he said it, he says Ben Franklin on the dollar bill, but Ben Franklin's on the $100 bill. So I don't think he's correct here. I was just trying to finish off his comment.
Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, I don't think so. Well, let me show you the Chinese yuan. That's the thing. If you see it, you'll go, oh, maybe. And when you zoom in, it's all dot matrixed. If it was black and white, it's definitely a whole lot different. So I don't think that's it either. I'm looking at it. I don't think that's it either. That's still a mystery. Which bill is this? I think it is a bill, because that is a process they use to make it harder to, harder to fake. Is they do those dot matrices and.
Yeah, and they might have that eye. It could be mirrored. So if you guys are looking for it, also look at it in a mirrored version to see if you can match it up, because that nose is mirrored. That nose is Ben Franklin, I believe is what I said when I looked it up. It's just mirrored. If you look at it normal, it's not.
Yeah, it's very odd. And then the mouth, evil red mouth there. It's just creepy. What do you guys think? If you spotted something we didn't, the electric car half empty or half full or whatever. Why does it not look like an electric car? It looks like God, that would be really creepy if the car that was part of the Christmas, if it matched the description. But I guess it's not 2025 yet. It looks more like like a Nissan or something. Doesn't look like a Tesla. Previous years, they had the electric car too. So we'll see. And I know there's some people that are like, oh, this is just a bunch of coincidence. They just put a bunch of random pictures. Last year's with the container ship, that was just freaking weird. There was a lot of stuff in there that happened. The hurricane symbol, all of these weird things that ended up happening. Not things like you knew that we were going to be picking the prez. So the ballot, the box there, that wasn't something that was like, oh, wow, I can't believe they predicted it. You knew that was happening. But other things why would they put a container ship sitting there? It's just super, super weird. These things have been predictive the last 5 years. So are they signs to somebody? Are they the upper classes kind of ha-ha? They put it right out in the open? I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. And it's been nuts. By the way, speaking of which, if we do have in 2025 a grid down, I hope that you guys do end up having some sort of power, whether that be a gas generator. If you're going to go solar, I recommend, of course, energy for smaller capacity and for grid down for larger capacity solar generators. This actually has a 6,000 peak watt power out, and of course it has a 3,000 continuous. So it can actually even take a 30 amp port for an RV right into the back of it. This thing is an awesome system, and the greatest part is they are all done already with EMP shield included. So it's a very, very cool system. Again, what you are looking at, everything includes that EMP shield protection. That way, if a solar storm happens or if an EMP hits, your system is going to be good. These have huge, huge batteries. The one unit that has a 1.61 kilowatt hours. Again, that's a very large battery. So 1,600 watt hours. If you go with the two, the main unit with the extension, that has 4.29 kilowatt hours. So that's about 4,200.9 hours of power. That, again, is over the 30%. That will actually qualify you for the 30% tax credit. So, again, very, very cool. So go check it out, marfooglenews.com/bugout. They also have walls. If you've ever heard of the Tesla wall, that is, again, you can actually get that from Grid Down as well. They can outfit your entire house. They can outfit a mansion if you wanted it to, or a cabin. If you have a bug out spot, this is the company to go through. Again, we waited for this for a very long time. They're directly connected and through EMP Shield. Everything is EMP Shield protected. So very, very cool unit. It's extremely, extremely well built, and it's made to last through either an EMP or a CME. So go check it out, marfooglenews.com/bugout. All right, and then let's see here. Terry Quinn, thank you. I appreciate that. Stephen McMahon, thank you for your support tonight. Ursula van der Leyen, big shot in EU. Yeah, I'll have to look at what some of the things that she's said and her comments, because that will be interesting to see. And then Terry Quinn, thank you. And then Carlton Sutton, you and Stephen McMahon are both tied for #1 spot. Thank you. Dex, thank you for your service today. I appreciate you.
Much love. Great job, brother.
All right, you guys, it is now time for the shoutro. It's not an outro. It's not a shout-out. It's a shoutro. Make sure to go thank your mods by going over to marfooglenews.com/friends. You have very awesome mods down there. Dropping them in the chat right now for your awesome mods.
The country we don't know. Where do they spend this money? We just really